feel me? Chris a hating ass nigga. That's why Jaywan about to wash him.
For sure. Wow. Bet your money.
Gain the support.
Come on, over parlay.
Bet the house on me.
I'm actually quit gambling this week.
See how I'm saying? Yeah, I'm saying you want to vote that.
I got. You sure I gotta hear more? That's all it is. I don't.
Project.
He did send me the project, and I'm gonna listen. I'm listening this weekend actually. Chris, shut up. Ladies and gentlemen, episode Trace, Uno Dos Trace of the Tew World Order takeover. Film that's like an oxymoron because it's like two, but episode Trace, episode 3. You feel me? It's like it sounds like a Jay-Z song. I like that because I'm so good with Don Tondres. I am here with Keja. K. Feel me? I got the K thing going on, even though it's actually no K in his name, but it's a K in his name. Yeah, it's a K in her name, and it's that letter K. Like, feel me? I just gotta catch up. Now let's get right into it. I'm already super familiar with my guy to the left. We already did an interview. Keja, let's get to know you. Who are you? How did you, what's your story?
Hi. Who am I? I'm just a regular person for real, but I guess like my journey to music is kind of like interesting. I actually kind of like Wyrm grew up dancing. Like I'm classically trained in ballet and modern jazz. That's what I've done my whole life. That's how I traveled through dance, and that's kind of how I like got into music really, and just like studying it and understanding it in a different way than probably a normal person does when they just listen for fun. And I guess I always wrote poetry and stuff like that. And I used to write songs. I always wrote songs. I never really like sang though. Like opening my mouth in front of people was just so fucking foreign to me. Like, but yeah, I did one show because I was pushed by my partner to just share my songs for real, and people liked it. So I just kept doing it, and now I'm recording those songs. So yeah, that's how we got here.
How long ago was that?
That was really recent, like 2020.
Holy shit.
Like, yeah, end of 2019, 2020. My first show was like November 2019.
Okay, wow.
And I didn't start recording my songs until like this year.
Damn.
So I'm like very fresh to this, like very, very new.
Okay, so I'm gonna go right to you because we can piggyback on all the stories that we spoke. My dog, tell the world about yourself, man.
Hi, my name is Jack Johnson. What's up? I'm Qué and Keja, aka Be More Alien, formerly known as Stational Sad Boy. I am a curator, I am a DJ, I am a manager, and I'm a leader of this collective that is known as Tew World Order. My music journey started, I'm the son of this Igbo man named Simon. He was basically a master of ceremonies, which isn't what you think, but he was basically hosting music shows over the like northeast Baltimore area for like Nigerians, like all throughout the 90s and 2000s. So I've really got my like knowledge of like knowing how to like curate shows through him. Like it was actually like really like funny because now that I think about it, like I mentioned this on Twitter before, but the Kinderman pulled up to one of his shows and like he got fed by him. This was at the People Encouraging People in Park Heights, if you know what that is. Now me getting an interest in music, that was just being a kid, like in the 2000s. I think it was really 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying, to like really pique my interest, and that led me to Dr. Dre. And then I found out Dr. Dre used to be in this group called NWA, so that had me studying music from the West Coast and 90s music in general. And then I actually mentioned this, but I saw this movie, like just staying up like late at night, called Crush Groove. So that really like got me into hip hop, but like the source of hip hop in general. And then from there I started like really studying like 80s hip hop, 90s hip hop, like 2000s hip hop. But I was also into other forms of music too, because my parents, like they like being Nigerian, they would like listen to rock music, they would listen to funk music, this genre called high life, and they were Catholic, so they would listen to a lot of Christian music, gospel, and reggae. I grew up on a lot of reggae as well. So I'm just really like versatile with like like the music that I listen to. I really don't hold one genre over the other. I love all forms of genres, but like rap music, hip hop, R&B, they're like religions to me, almost, if that makes sense. So I was in Towson University. I was doing film at the time. I came 2014 to the show at the Crown, curated by Abdul Ali, called Kalan, and I saw them perform, and I saw Butch Dawson perform, and I was like, yeah, I really need to like get into this somehow. So I was doing videos, and then I found myself in this collective called Ramadan, and through that I learned more about like curating shows. And then around 2015, I started DJing for the first time. I was like a bedroom produced DJ, just learning how to mix for real. But I already had that ear for music just from like listening to music. So like it was really more like learning how to match things and like finding different sounds and having them like blend together, and that would like really interest me. So in 2016, I DJ'd my first show at the Crown when I was part of Ramadan. I think it was January 15th, 2016. I don't know the exact date. And from then, I helped curate a beat trip show in the spring, not too long after I moved into this building called the Bell Foundry. And then in September 10th, 2016, I curated my first show with my cousin Android number 23. And then I kept curating shows at the Bell Foundry until we got kicked out in December 5th, 2016. But then I moved over to Crown to continue to curate shows. I did that for a couple months, and then I decided to call the shows 808s and Sad Boys in June of my first show, June 2nd, 2017. I kept curating to the point where I was able to book like people like my cousin 4K Michael, Take Cobain, D Trinata, Chris Cassius, Bill Carr, Good Faith, Miss Cam, Baby Callow, A1 Beam, Lamatic, Al Rogers Jr., etc., 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 etc. And so at that point, I was like, yeah, like I really want to just keep this going, but like I know I just don't want to keep curating shows forever. Like I came in this to like really like work with music too. So, Chris in like December 2019 asked me to manage him. And he wasn't the first person to ask me to manage him. I said no to those niggas. But like when he asked me, I was like, yo. But like he was like, you know what? This is someone I actually feel like I can work with and have a building relationship with. So I said, yeah. So he announced that in February 2020. And I was already saying this term before, but like I knew that like, yo, if I was gonna manage, like this was gonna be the start of something. So we called it the Tew World Order.
What made you say yes to managing him? What about his persona, his music made you say, all right, you know what, I can do this, or I should do this?
He can make music, for one.
Everybody else who asked you couldn't make music.
Well, okay. It's in addition, the other people who asked me, they weren't from here. So it was a bunch of PG County people who were asking me, and that was cool and all, but I'm not from PG County. I'm from here, and I know like we have like different rhythms when it comes to like how we want to move this stuff, and I already feel like me not to be full of myself. I know I'm gonna be great, so
yes.
I feel like if I'm gonna bring someone up with me, why not make it from someone from my own city? Because I already know like PG County to be a place where you have a closer access to and infrastructure where you can make it. We don't really have that over here. So if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that with someone where I know like, yo, where you didn't have that before, you have that now because you were me.
All right, so you got Chris. I want to talk about why we have the lovely lady to my right. How does she fit into your vision for Tew World Order?
Well, you know what? I was actually at that first show that she was talking about.
I was gonna bring that up.
So yeah, like I remember just like I think I was walking in when you were performing, and I was like, yo, I enjoy this.
Oh gosh.
So yeah, after she finished her set, I remember the last song you did. I like really like grabbed my attention. I just said like, yeah, like this is great. I really like it. Like you had a good set, and you did have a good set.
Thank you.
And then I just kept seeing you around, like I saw more shows, and then like when I started doing the rehearsal sessions that Jaywan was talking about at Pump Number 9, she kept regularly showing up, and like I was able to hear like a lot of her songs, and like just like the fact that you were like consistent, the fact that you like really was like getting better at practice. So I was like really thinking like, yo, because I had Bill and Chris at the time. I told a friend of mine, yo, if there was one more person I was gonna add to Tew World, it would be her. I ain't even gonna lie. It would be her. But like I was like, this was at a point where it was like I don't know why I would even think about that, but I wanted to add a person a year. But she asked me in August, and I laughed because I was like, I was already thinking about doing that anyway. So in October we made it official.
Huge relief.
Why'd you ask?
Honestly, there's no one else who I would want to manage me in the city, period. Like, K, well, just first of all, K is just like a huge, like respectable person, and he has a huge hand in what goes on in here. And I've never heard anyone say anything bad about this man, and if they did, they fucking lying. And I don't know. I felt like of all the people I've been around, this is the one person that could like actually take me where I want to go, and who actually take me seriously, and who actually takes this shit seriously. Like,
where do you want to go?
well, I want to go all the way to the top too. You feel me? Like I want to make it. I want to be able to do this for a living. Like that's the goal for real. It's not to be famous. It's not to have everybody but it's definitely to be able to do art for a living. Like to be able to make a living doing what I love.
What is your vision with Tew World Order? Man, so happy. He knocking off the mic covers.
Goddamn!
Can't wait.
At this point, I feel like it's not a stretch to say that I could be behind people who are able to bring Grammys home to the city. You know what I mean? Like, I am behind a bunch of people who believe in, like, actually making music their life. Not just being in the scene to be seen, but actually being the best singer, songwriter, rapper, producer, all of that. Like, I just, like, see, like, these people, like, at least once a week, and I'm always, like, thoroughly impressed for what they got going on, you know? And I know, like, it's only for the fact that people don't know about them that they're not household names. So it's really just me just doing my best to bring these people, like, known in this city and then beyond. That makes me feel like, y'all really gonna, like, change the world in y'all way.
So you spoke on what attracted you to Chris and Keja. You already mentioned you had good faith.
Yeah.
So what about good faith? What about Jaywan? What about Wyrm?
Okay.
And I know I'm missing somebody else. I don't want to mispronounce his name on camera. If y'all could state his name.
You talking about Brian?
Brian.
Okay, bet. Well, Jaywan was also the other person who was consistently showing up to rehearsals. And I think y'all two were tied with, like, people who would actually come. And he actually would come on days when I couldn't do it. And I know it disappointed him. But I know that, like, he was the first one every time practicing. Every time. And he took the no backing vocals seriously, too. And I heard it in his voice, like, yo, he treated this shit like a concert. Well, a performance. And I already had that thought in my head, like, yo, I actually do. Like, I would consider managing him. But when we first off started, he told me about him, the fact that he had a manager. It's like, okay, I'm going to let him go. But then when I tried booking him for a show, I booked him for a show, he brought it up again. I was like, okay. 2 out of 2. So, yeah. And he sent me his project in October, and I listened to that project, like, thoroughly, and I was, like, impressed because it's like, yo, this is a solid project. I sent it to you, and you're going to see what I mean when I talk about that.
I like him as a person already, so.
Check out the song Porch Light, and we're going to talk about the song Porch Light.
Bet.
Yeah.
I'm going to start tonight.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about Wyrm, because I feel like that's probably, like, the most intriguing.
Wyrm, I think I actually known you the longest out of everyone. Just, like, him coming to shows and just, like, always, like, you know, dancing and stuff. And, like, yo, like, me, in addition to, like, being a lover of music, I've always loved dancers. Always, like you don't know this side of me, but, like, he kind of does. So, like, I do like dancing. I like, it's just a combination of me, like, being a big fan of Michael Jackson, being Nigerian, and just, like, you know, just being a kid, like, yo, like, dancing is great. And, like, you know, like, I always admire dancers. And, like, him, I never really, like, watched dance shows, but, like, I was always a fan of dancing. But, of course, with Baltimore Club, too, like, I know how to SpongeBob. I know how to, like, rock off a little bit. I never was consistent with it. That's why I'm rusty. But, like, yeah, that shit was my shit. And, like, yo, just seeing, yo, like, do that shit all the time. And him and I also being into, like, the same, like, philosophies and, like, you know, just knowing things that we can't really talk about on this camera. We always just connected like brothers. And, like, every time, like, you know, we talk and, like, every time we see each other, it's peace. You know what I mean? It's peace. And I remember, like, just during the pandemic, like, I always thought, because, like, my OGs knew this about me, but, like, I always wanted to incorporate, like, dance into, like, you know, the shows that I was throwing. So, like, when he, like, brought that up to me, I was like, yo, like, we actually could do something like that when stuff opens. But when, like, time goes on, it's like, yo, if I'm gonna do this with you, like, yo, I'd rather you, like, yo, just, like, be on my team. I'd rather just, like, be brothers with me for real. Right. And, like, yo, he agreed to that. So
what about Mr. Good Faith Boomer?
Good Faith Boomer. He reminded me of the hunger that I did when I was curating shows, right? Because I remember when I was in Ramadan and still wanted to curate shows, but not necessarily that I was being held back, but like, you know, there was a lack of like, you know, knowledge about, like, niggas didn't really know me enough to like let me like throw shows. And I remember like when I first like 3 shows, like, you know, I was rusty, but like it took time and time and time for yo to let me to actually like get to a point where I knew I was good. When I saw Bill, he hit me up asking to do a show, and I said, yeah, like I'm gonna see, like he said, I'm gonna see you when I see you. And I did eventually come out to one of his shows. I came out because, you know, the girl I DJ for, Miss Cam, was on it. I'm sorry I missed the set, but I saw everyone else, and like I was actually impressed with the show. So we didn't even talk the first time. We just gave each other that. So so then we just like kept it consistent. And like, you know, he was around. We would always talk to each other. I booked him for an 808. Then I'll come to his shows and I saw like, yo, like, yeah, you young but you serious. Like, you know, like people have this perception about you, but I can see that you're actually really serious about what you're trying to do. And if I was behind you, like at least like, you know, there'd be less fuckery going around. So I was like, yeah, let's make this happen.
And the last one we're gonna talk about is Brian.
Brian, he couldn't make it here, but Brian, he is a producer, he is a musician, he is also the leader of a collective called All In House. He's associated with my good friends over at Zony Sound. He I believe he's from West Baltimore too. I believe he's 25. He when he hit me, I was actually surprised because there was a guy who was doing all this stuff, who had worked with Condrani Fidel, who had his music featured at the Orioles game, hitting me up, and I was like, I'd be surprised when I see that people who are like in good standing, like just like already on that path, hit me up. So I was like, yo, like obviously there's something that we can do together that you see that I don't see yet. And now that I am managing him, I see it now because like he has that mindset of like, yo, mixing the business with the music. And that's something that I wasn't really like focused on up until I started Tew World Order, because like, yeah, like we all know how good it is to like those shows, but we don't know like how much more we could be doing with the music if we just knew the business aspect of it. And he's a reminder of that. And he also, I see the way that he leads his young niggas too. And I admire that. I really admire that about him. Like, he all have a good head on their shoulders. And like once they're like known more to like this city, like, yo, people gonna see what I'm talking about.
So, Kay just mentioned, you know, like the whole collective having like a good head on their shoulders. You specifically, you seem the most shy out of everybody. I thought
What
it was
about
Wyrm.
Jaywan? I mean, he kind of gave him a whole person. Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie, Jaywan just showed me like that's not the truth. Like, how shy he trying to portray himself to be, that's not. And even with Wyrm, like I thought it was him, but he, you know, I mean, he's a social butterfly. Like,
dang, I'm a social butterfly too.
No, you are. All right, so okay, I'll say this: you are. But when it comes to you playing your music and things like that,
fuck no, yeah.
You're a little more reserved.
Yeah.
Like, when you were playing your music, you know, you was like covering your face.
Yeah.
But how uncomfortable is it for you to like step out there as a performer? You know, I mean, you have to do that.
I know, it just comes with it, right? Like, you must do what is required, is what I say now. Okay, I don't want to sit here and say it sucks, 'cause it doesn't suck completely. I ain't gonna fucking lie. But it's just super vulnerable and scary to just, like, put yourself out there for people and have that fear of them not fucking with what you're putting out. Like, I don't know. And then also, like, I love performing, like, because of the dancer in me, but I'm used to being a collective of people. I'm used to knowing exactly what's the right step and where my arm's supposed to go and my head's supposed to go. And, like, you know, I didn't have to say shit. There's a lot less room for error. And I'm a perfectionist because of dance, so it just makes all this shit really hard. But I'm trying to get out of that, and the more people, like, I don't know, respond back to me, it makes me feel like I'm just in my head. And, yeah, we'll crawl out eventually. I don't know. Oh, well.
Should crawl this summer. Watch.
I'm trying.
Something that like that kind of like hopefully should help you was when you were playing music before we like cut on the cameras. It gave that feeling of like, you know, them Sunday mornings. You know, your mom waking you up, you gotta clean.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I hear that. It remind me of like, you know, Ari Lennox album.
Damn, thank you.
Like, that's like one of my favorite albums ever. So when, you know, I heard that, it's kind of like, oh, this girl got something. It's like an old school feel. You feel
Thank
me?
you.
So
Yeah.
I just want you to know, like, you should definitely be proud of yourself. Take it serious. I looked around the whole room while you was playing it, and everybody was nodding their head. They was all amused. So the reservedness, cut that out.
Ah,
Cut it
fuck.
out.
I appreciate you saying that though.
Definitely, you good. Kay, you as a mastermind, not just behind Tew World Order, but behind the Baltimore music scene in general, you have your fingerprints over a lot. How do you find the time to balance it? Because even let's say you're doing a show, right? You're doing the 808 show. You
Right.
still have to manage your group, then manage a whole show with artists who may not even be in your group. That's a lot, bro.
Yeah, well, first off, I threaten everyone not to even think about hitting me up before 10 a.m. any of those days because
I'm gonna text him tomorrow at 9:50.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
no.
I'm
Hey, whoa. Outside of my group. Outside.
okay.
Like, y'all are the exception.
6 in the morning.
This
Yo,
man
me
texted
too.
me
I'm
at 6 in the
7
morning,
o'clock.
yo. Like, but, it's funny. We're both Geminis, right?
Yeah. That's true.
I'm him.
Gang.
So when I mean I'm him, that means it just comes with being me. That the fact that I can manage this group and then do what I can outside of the group. Because there's nothing I miss. You know what I mean? Like, whether you're saying something about me, whether you're doing something on the show, whether you need something, I can make that happen. It's just a matter of when. And that can happen in a matter of seconds, in a matter of minutes. It's just when I want that to happen. But it takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of growth, and it just takes a lot of time for me to actually like make that. And I can do that without saying a word. It wasn't always like that, but like just with like trials and tribulations and with like the strength and blessings of my ancestors and the Most High, it's just what comes with being me.
You're very at peace. You're very one with yourself.
Got to be.
How do you manage to just play that balance? Because that's something like I'm learning to do. I'm struggling with like not feeling so attacked or feeling so angry all the time. How did you manage to deal with that?
Well, like it's like Princess, man. Anyone who has a problem with me has a problem with himself first. But with that, but nah, it's really just me just realizing like, like whatever someone has to do, like it doesn't have to change the fact that I have to do better my own self. So that means like, I cannot be the same person that I was when I first started this. I was a very impatient person when I first started this. I was very like, visually shy. At one point I probably was the shyest person in this room. But like just through trial and error and realizing that tomorrow will always be a better day. But in addition, I still get scared and I still get nervous and I still get tired and I still like, get doubtful. But there was always this one voice in my head that just says, okay, you can do it anyway. Because you can. Like, what it is like to not do things. You've already seen the other side of not being liked and not being able to, like, get out your dreams. So why would you want to go back to that? It's just a reminder that, like, with each new step, I'm into new territory. Whether I'm alone or whether I'm with a group, I'm just going to walk down. And I am grateful to have this family that I do call Tew World Order. I can go down this road and know that, like, I am further than I've ever been. And that y'all will be further than y'all have ever been. And that's just where I see it happening. And it's not even a matter of just thinking anymore. It's just a matter of doing.
Keja, what's next for you and your legacy? What do you want that to be?
Well, what's next for me is this project I put together called Things Fall Apart. That was like, what,
We can make some noise.
That shit is probably gonna come out in December, beginning of fall. So y'all catch those sad, cold vibes right when you need them. And then my legacy, man, like, I was really thinking about that, and like, I honestly feel like I want my legacy to be like, just like, fuck fear. Like, I feel like fear is like the biggest thing that just holds me back, and there's so many people back from just like doing the things that they like want to do or love, and it's just like, just fuck that shit. So we're gonna keep it simple and just say, fuck the fear and just take a risk and just go for it, because that other side of it is just so fucking beautiful. Like, yeah.
On the UK, what's next? What's next for you? What's next for the group? What do you want your legacy to be, and what do you want the group's legacy to be?
Well, as y'all know, 808 and Sad Boys is back. So we're going to keep those shows going.
Oh, and make sure y'all hit him up. DM him every single day, all the time. If you want to be on the show, because he's very responsive.
Don't listen to this man.
He loves when people ask him to join the show.
Do not set yourself up for failure.
He loves when people ask him because he's big on yes. He doesn't say no to people. If you want to join, you can join. 1-800 call K for Keja.
If you want to be blocked and ignored forever,
My legacy, right? My legacy is going to be the legacy of an individual, whether male, female, non-binary, whatever you identify yourself. It's not about any of that. A legacy of a person who is able to step into himself and the world around him and figure out the world picture and then just keep going and just keep traveling and keep making everything and everyone around him better. Because that is the only way I can see myself doing things. I don't want to make things worse than what I've seen them. I want to make things better. I want to make people better. I want to make these shows better. I want to make the industry that we have, or the lack of industry, better. So my legacy is someone who's just trying to work hard, is working hard, making sure that the youth has something for themselves. By the time I'm gone, I will be gone one day. So I want to make sure that everything I've done was for the greater good. That there is something for these young aspiring artists to go to. That they're able to throw shows. That they're able to have access to the resources that these people in these other cities have. I be in these other cities and I love these other cities, but I also notice the lack of what we have, and I know it's sad because we are so talented. We are so talented in the city, but it's just us knowing this about each other. But that's also beautiful because we do all know each other, so we can vouch for ourselves. So the only thing that we can depend on is interdependence. So with that, we have our connection with ourselves, so we just have to make that connection to the industry, I guess. So I will say that I am proud to be one of those people who is doing the hard work to make that happen. And part of that is with 808s and Sad Boys. Part of that is with Tew World Order. Part of that is just with the separate work I do DJing with my sister Miss Cam. All of that is a means to just making sure that we are all good in the end, and we will be good in the end because I said so.
Mm-hmm.
K says, y'all social medias where they can find y'all.
Find out yourself. Do it yourself.
Oh.
Make it a challenge. Because you already know who I am anyway. So why should I even tell y'all? Y'all know what. Come on.
Damn, this nigga put his hand in my face. Damn,
I'm done.
he said,
I don't know who the fuck I am though. Nobody knows. Let me stop. Well, my Instagram, Keja, KEJAWHO, Keja Who. Sorry, Keja Who. That's everything. So Twitter, TikTok. I don't post on TikToks. Yeah, all that shit. Find me there.
Ladies and gentlemen, the work entitled couch has been taken over by Tew World Order. Triple double. You just call me. I don't want to say that other guy. I'm not gonna say Westbrook. Just a triple double.
Westbrook.
disrespectful.
Yo, this thing on?
You need to get rid of that nigga.
Oh, all right. Okay, yeah. Okay, let me talk about me. Tew World Order Takeover. Taji Imaginary Players. Working Title, Working T-Pod on Twitter, on Instagram. We need to make a TikTok. It's a matter of who's going to actually do it because nobody feels like it.
We can make one together because we need to make a TikTok as well.
Okay,
We're all on
let's
the
do
same
it.
page.
Let's do it. Ooh.
We
There
do
you
need
go.
an
You
intern.
actually, yeah,
Yo,
you actually
Any
really could
young
do that.
niggas who are not annoying,
Yes.
please hit us up. We need interns. The Working Title, Tew World Order. We will feed you. We will. What will we do for them, Chris?
Something.
We-
Rub it back.
I know. No, I'm a 30-year-old man. I ain't rubbing no one's back. What the hell? Don't
My girl
know.
won't be rubbing
You gonna
nobody
learn
back.
some shit.
I don't wanna rub
Pedophilia
nobody
in this
back.
group. We're not doing that. No.
Go in the house.
There you go. Tequila,
Whoa. We also do not support alcoholism. We will supply you with other
21 and over.
Definitely got to get it.
And we are out.
Jaywan, shut